Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. We want to take a look at the daily chart here together because I think it is very important that everybody is aware of how the week is possibly going to unfold, or at least that you're aware of the key scenarios here so you really understand what the key levels are. In addition to that, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 with you. Kind of an exclusive look, and we'll take a look at how these patterns unfold there, because Bitcoin has been very reactive in recent weeks to how the stock market is unfolding, or let's say the Nasdaq, the S&P. The problem is only to the downside. So if the Nasdaq moved down, and because I'm analyzing the Nasdaq so often and the S&P, I see it, right, when they correlate. But they only correlate to the downside. When the Nasdaq goes up, Bitcoin is just moving sideways. But when they go down, Bitcoin is going down even further sometimes. So we have to take a look and compare these. I want to add additional value with that to this video. So for now, I mean, you know the daily chart, right? You know it. But I wanted to add some weight to the yellow scenario here and why it's so important. So let's start. I mean, the daily chart here reveals that we are certainly not seeing any impulsive price action from any of the recent lows. Like the move up from the 10th of October low was not impulsive. Actually, it could have been, but the microstructures were super difficult to read. Then the low from the 17th of October, I mean, that bounce was not a 5-wave move. This is not impulsive. Yeah. And to the downside here, we have seen 5 waves up from last week's high. So from the Monday high, exactly a week ago, we saw a 5-wave move down. Now, if you're thinking, okay, but that's not 5 waves. Yeah, well, it is, but we have only filled in the first one. Yeah, but that first one is a 5-wave move, which bottomed on Friday. So Thursday, rather. Yeah. And then we saw a bounce into the Sunday high. Was it? Yeah, Sunday high. And I wanted to see a bit of a weekend rally. Like that was sort of I like the idea. Let's call it like that. I like the idea of a weekend rally. Well, within those parameters, so it's all fine. Like, yeah. So the idea was, I even uploaded a video on X here on Saturday, I think, about a weekend rally. Well, I mean, was that a weekend rally? Not so much. I mean, I like the idea of a broader wave too, to be honest. ABC, but we'll see. We might not get it. Yeah. What I can say is, and I repeat that from previous updates, this area here around these previous swing lows, 107,500 to 105,000. Well, look, this is quite a strong support area, and on the 1-hour time frame, we were already oversold here. Yeah. We're now bouncing. Maybe we get another low and build a bullish divergence. So maybe we get that larger wave too. I haven't given up on that idea. It's still valid. Nothing has changed here. So that's still valid. But I don't want to focus so much on the microstructures. The idea is, even if we go a little higher here in this wave too, as long as we stay below the Monday high of last week, which formed exactly around the 61.8 retracement at 116K in that area, the pressure here is to the downside. And the bulls need to drive the price above that Monday high to reduce some of the pressure. Actually, based on internal structures, it's going to be the 78.6 retracement, around 114,150. Need to break above that level, right, for a more bullish interpretation. But it's just a risk. I'm not predicting downside. I just find it very likely, not because I like it, but I see 5 waves down. 5 waves down from the all-time high as well, then 3 waves up, and another 5 down. So it just kind of looks a bit, short-term bearish. And I guess you all feel it, right? You all feel it. At the same time, I'm going to watch for reversal signals to the upside, of course, because we've hit this strong support area. But I think I would start the week with the perspective that the pressure is downward. So we might start a third wave this week and then move down to roundabout. I mean, it opens the door at least, I'd say, to the June lows around 98, 99K, which is also roughly where that 55-week exponential moving average is located. So this is the pathway to the downside and could unfold in 5 waves. If we see a larger B wave bounce, it might be this. This would simply reset the B wave a little higher, but it takes a break above that 114,200 level I mentioned just now as part of the resistance area. And that would then open the door to a broader B-wave bounce. Now, if we then follow through to the downside and find a low there in that area around the June low, I mean, the next question is, what is it? You know, it could be still a bullish count. It could still take us higher as part of this blue scenario if we consider this entire move from the April low as a 1-2 setup. That's possible. Will only become far less likely below 83K. Okay, so this would be the bullish count. If, however, we form this move down and get only a weak corrective bounce, that would be additional warning that we're likely going to head down into a bear market. So I'm always going to watch how the price reacts to the upside at any of these junctures. What we need if we come down like this, we need 5 waves up to signal an upside recovery. Without any 5-wave move up, the pressure will remain to the downside. Very, very important. So that should give you a good overview of all the levels and parameters for this week. If we start to break below this cluster of support levels around the October, September, July lows, so around, let's say if we start to break below this cluster around 104.5 to 107.5K, then as I said, this area around 99K will become important. But also there's the 96K level, which is the 50% retracement. So just naming here some key levels. In fact, if we already topped in yellow wave 2, we already have a possibility to calculate some micro degree targets, but I find it still a bit too early to do that. But what we say is normally if wave 2 is finished, the third wave should reach the 138% extension. So actually down there around 98.5K, then we could get a wave 4 bounce, and the fifth wave could indeed take us down to that 50% retracement or 161.8 extension around 96K. So this is the roadmap, the bearish roadmap. The levels here in blue will shift if we see a broader wave 2. So, and if we then take a look at the S&P 500 futures, the E-mini futures, we also see that the E-mini futures has currently bounced from a Fibonacci micro support area, but we're also holding just below critical resistance. I think we haven't seen really a clear decision here yet. So I do analyze it regularly, and my communication so far has been that this move to the upside, I mean the overall move up from the April low anyway, is overstretched. And in the short term, the move up from the Sunday 12th of October low, or let's call it the 10th of October low, obviously the S&P suffered as well on the 10th of October. This move up is technically complete as well. I'm tracking this as an ABC structure. We don't need to see any more upside here. In the blue scenario, this rally from the 10th of October low is complete. But I cannot rule out another high, but have said that if we get a break below 6,821, that's our first signal that a more meaningful top is in. It could technically lead down to a larger bear market, or at least move the price into this support zone, which is located around 6,098 to 5,314, which is huge, far away. So, I mean, this entire rally from the April low was characterized by very, very small, tiny pullbacks, right? So, at some point, we should get a larger correction. The first signal would be a break below 6,821. If that happens, keep an eye on that for this week. Bitcoin will probably also form these 5 waves. But that doesn't mean we have to break down from there. We'll have to first see, can we form these 5 waves? And then this might be a wave 1 to the downside, then we get a larger bounce and then sells off like that. There are ways, how it could still find support, for example, after 3 waves down and then to a new high. So I'll stay very close to this, but wanted to give you the initial levels to watch. Nearest resistance is between 6,891 and 6,932. Any break above this pivot opens the door to another high in the $7,000 region. Yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed the update. Make sure that you also hit the like button, subscribe if you appreciate the daily analysis. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.